Hey guys, it's Lynx Bear here for another episode of Brutal Lynx. I'm going to try to make this a little quick, but this is really just the video before I go on vacation. I wanted to make sure that I got something out for you guys. I've been getting this question a lot recently, mostly from people I know or people who haven't seen me in a long time, and then they see me now and they're like, "What the hell happened to you?" So, any of you who have been following, even from the first video, you guys know that last year was sort of the beginning of a whole journey for me. And please excuse my look. I had a horrible night. And excuse my poorly functioning brain right now. Um, but when they see me now, there's a big difference. I was 290 pounds then, and I am so not 290 pounds now. And they all ask me the same question, how'd you do it? What are you doing? How'd you do it? What are you doing? Oh my God. And I'm just like, okay, I get so sick of saying the same shit over and over and over again. So I decided to just make a video and address it. So this is where I started. I started at 290 in roughly January, February of 2012. Had a big cancer scare where it scared the hell out of me, my partner. We were like, am I going to die? Had no idea. Something like that kicks your ass into gear. When I say it kicks your ass into gear, you're just like, I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not. Why? Because we are all going to die. It's going to happen to all of us. I'm not afraid of that. However, that does not mean I want to die a slow death. That does not mean I want to die from cancer. That does not mean that I want to die without having done some of the things in my life that I wanted to do. So it kicked my ass right into gear. It was like, whoop, there goes gravity. Welcome to reality, my friend. And I was livid with myself. I was upset with myself because there was always tomorrow. You know what I mean? Well, I don't have to start working out now. There's always tomorrow. Well, I don't have to worry about my career right now. Right now, I just need to make money. There's always tomorrow. And then for a split second, tomorrow was taken away from me. And once you realize that tomorrow is taken away from you, you start to think about all of those things that you put off because there's always tomorrow. So I looked at my situation, I looked at myself, like after we realized that I'm okay and that everything is going to be all right, I realized that fuck tomorrow. Tomorrow is guaranteed to no one. I always knew that, but I never really felt that. Well, then I got to feel it. And at that point, I decided I'm going to take control back of my life. I can't wait for tomorrow for shit to happen. If I want to, and you have to understand, all of this is for me and my own edification, because people are like, oh, why are you trying to lose weight if you like bears, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, because that's what I like on other people, not necessarily what I like on myself. So I decided to take charge, and I worked on it. And really, the truth of the matter is, you have to take charge. I know it's a cliche. It sounds ridiculous to say, but it's true. It's true. So I'll tell you what I did last year to get from 290 to, I think it was 243 at the end of December. Right now, sorry, my eyes are dry. I got no sleep. Right now, as of my last weigh-in, I was down to 229. I think that was a number, 229. That was a number. So I'll take you through both of those parts, and then I'll take you into what I'm considering my next phase. So the first thing I did was I got myself a stationary bike. Well, I should say Skeeter got me a stationary bike as a gift. I think it was my birthday that he got it for me. Mostly because I asked for it. This wasn't him, because he's never said anything about my weight, never made me feel bad. He's actually only ever said positive things to me about it. So don't think this is about him either. It's all me. And what I do, or did for that year, was 3 times a week for 30 minutes. I got on that goddamn bike, and I did 2 minutes at a regular pace, and that gets you warmed up. So you got your 2 minutes. and you're going. And it's not feeling like anything. And then for 30 seconds, boom! 30 seconds, you go as hard as you can go for 30 seconds. Then once that 30 seconds is over, you get a minute. You go back to normal for a minute. And then 30 seconds, boom, 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 boom. You go, and you get 30 minutes is all it takes, and by the end of that 30 minutes, you are dripping sweat. It is just, whoo. Looks like, the hottest man that walked into the room and I just all over my damn self. That just wet. And when you mix that with being at a caloric deficit, because I understand that there's a lot of little things out there that people say and people do, but here's some simple math. If you take in less than you expend, you'll lose weight. It's very simple. It's very common sense. The hard part is figuring out how many calories you should take. Now, when you think about the number, because I think I needed like 2,400 in order to maintain the weight that I was. All I did was drop 600 calories down to 18. You go, well, that's horrible. It's horrible. It's not. It's actually more food than I have ever eaten before in my life. Why? Because I make my own food. So, tip number 1, get yourself some kind of cardiovascular exercise. The way I did it worked for me. It was a bike, 30 minutes, 3 times a week. 30 minutes. How do you not have 30 minutes? I have 30 minutes, and I'm fucking busy all the time. So, you have that. Tip number 2 is to watch what you're putting in your body. Make your own food. Stop buying pre-packaged crap. It's garbage. Your body is meant to run on 93 octane, and when you go to McDonald's, or you buy a bag of chips, or you buy a can of soup, or any of that, you eat a slice of white bread, you're essentially putting 83 in your car. That's essentially what it is. You're taking a car that wants a vehicle, a machine, an engine that wants high quality, and you're giving it garbage. But and that's how come, you can have a single Big Mac and it's your entire caloric intake for the day, and people are walking around saying that they're starving. But if you were to figure out what a 300 calorie sandwich looks like, that fucking thing's about this fat. It's got 2 pieces of cheese. It's got about 4 or 5 slices of turkey on it. You use freaking, a heavy whole wheat bread or a whole grain bread. How many of those in a day do you really think you can eat? By the time you get to 1,800 calories, you're sick of looking at food. You're like, fuck food. I'm tired of it. It's over. So that's pretty much all I did last year was cardio and essentially cutting. I worked at a caloric deficit. So, tip number 3, a caloric deficit, okay? Less calories in than you are burning. If you know that it takes you 2,400 calories to maintain your current weight at rest, which means you're not doing anything, then if you just cut back 400 calories and go about your day as you normally do, the walking that you do, the breathing, the living that you do, you're going to burn more calories than you're taking in, and you're going to start to drop weight. Tip number 4. This is a great one. Avoid simple carbohydrates. If it's a simple carbohydrate, meaning a sugar or something that will be converted into sugar or something that will make your blood sugar spike, cut it out. The only time you would ever use it or need it is before and after a workout. Before and after. Before a workout to give you an energy boost to do the workout. After a workout to replace the glycogen that you burn in your muscles from the workout. That is it. You don't need them otherwise. Complex carbohydrates, proteins, healthy fats. But it sounds complicated, but it really is not. Because you're not counting calories forever. Once you know what 300 calories looks like, you just make it that way. It's like, okay, this is a 300 calorie sandwich. This is what they look like. I got this. So yeah, that's that. So now that got me through January of last year till December. of last year. And that shaved off from 290 pounds all the way down to 243 with just a few months. A few months. And that's a lot to drop in a short period of time while still doing it slowly, which is kind of the right way. You want things to kind of come back. So now this year, I decided to take a turn because I don't want to be smaller, I want to be bigger. So, and bigger in the right way. I want to get large. So, for this year, I've basically gone through and I have started. First, I'm doing ketosis because I was just a little impatient and I just need to get rid of more of this fat so that way I can see more of my gains. I can see my gains now, really, I can. But I want to see more, and that's the motivation. You want to see more. So, something that you can do, and I like to switch it up. I mean, if you get onto any kind of bodybuilding routine, what you're going to soon come to realize is that it's all about cycling. You're cycling off everything. You cycle on a cutting diet, then you cycle on a bulking diet, then you cycle on to a maintenance diet. You cycle from doing weights to gain to doing weights to maintain. You cycle from doing cardio to lose fat to cardio just to, be healthy. So everything is cycling. And that's what I decided to pull in to this year. So I've got, right now I'm still in my first cycle, which I'm going to be ending, but I'm in my cycle of, inducing ketosis in order to just, cut a little faster. My next cycle is going to be actually using intermittent fasting. It sounds like I'm fasting, but I'm really not. I get all of my calories, all of my protein, all of my carbohydrate, everything that I need in the course of a day, except in a shorter window. So I actually spend more time not eating, like not providing more fuel for my body to burn instead of the fat. So my body will burn the fat during those times, the 16 hours that I'm not, which is mostly sleeping. So it's not like I'm even awake. I'm asleep. I spend 4 hours in the morning, then eat for 8 hours, then 4 hours of not eating at night, and then I sleep for 8 hours. Done. Apparently, the studies on this work really well. The numbers are impressive. For men, your human growth hormone increases about 2,000%. And human growth hormone is exactly what I need and what I want because I'm trying to get bigger. And I've also gone into a strict weight training regimen. So my cardio has been cut down and my weight training has increased. For size, I do heavier weights, about 75% of what my maximum 1 rep weight is. And I work 75% of that, low reps, 6 to 8, with few sets. And, just kind of break it up. But that has been yielding some crazy results. Just like the size of my arm has increased. Like this was not here. This was nothing. So it's working. So there you go. If you're not someone who's looking to bulk, you should still be lifting weights because muscle burns your fat. If you're looking to do it, so that's what I did. Long story short, that's what I did. I basically watched what I ate, did some damn exercise, and that's it. That's it. Now I know I might be on the lucky side of things. One of the things that I am doing with this in order to keep myself motivated is taking a more scientific approach to it. And that scientific approach is a lot of research, but also an understanding in African American genetics. And African American genetics are not the same as African genetics. They're just not. Because we were bred like cattle for a few hundred years. We were bred like cattle. And when you breed something like that, you tend to breed in certain traits. And the traits that my family had bred into it were basically to make us Clydesdales. We are easy gainers. We gain fat easy or we gain muscle easy. At least that was my theory. And so far my theory is proving correct. So I'm using these things. And I think that's the biggest tip that I could find for anybody is to find that one thing that can motivate you. If I have a point to prove, only to myself, and that point is, am I correct about this theory? For me, this is what I'm doing. Am I correct about this theory? Well, let's put my hypothesis to action. Let's see if it works. And it is. So I hope that answers everyone's questions. I know I was all over the place. My brain isn't right. My head ain't right. I'm just kind of fucked up today. But I hope that answered everyone's question as to what I'm doing. How is it how am I bulking? How am I losing the fat? I have damn near no gut left, with the exception that I ate garbage last night and now I'm all bloated and it's horrible and I can't stand it. I can see it in my face. Anyhow, you guys have a good one. I'm going to try to take a lot of video when I'm down in Key West, or pictures or something, so keep an eye out for the tweets and on the Facebook page, because I'm sure it's going to be a lot of good ratchet fuckery happening. So I'm going to have a good time. You guys have a good time. And I will see you when I get back.